Wholeness, my beautiful people, it is important that you get to understand your personal uniqueness. The more you get to understand who you are, the more that you get to bring yourself to your truest authenticity. The reason why it is so important for you to get to understand what makes you you, what makes you different, because we are all different, not any one of us is the same, is because for one, it stopped you from being overly influenced by everyone else to the point that you no longer live by your own internal compass. This may cause you to not be able to manifest, not be able to create the reality that you prefer, the reality that you desire, because you are moving yourself further and further away from your truth. Now, yes, we can learn a lot from others, and other people do hold a big part in how we do get to understand our uniqueness, get to understand who we are, especially giving us examples of the options that are available so that we can help ourselves break out of the box that was placed on us by society and social media. The more that you lean into your personal uniqueness, the more you're able to heal your inner child wound, the more that you're able to heal your womb, ladies, the more that you are able to regulate your sexuality, your self expression, and the more that you're able to regulate your emotions because now you are no longer fighting your truth. You no longer would need to invalidate yourself or seek out lack because you are now moving into a space where who you are is enough, and you move into a space where who you are, this version of you, you can get to properly learn to love you instead of constantly chasing a self or a reality based on false perspectives and false understandings of who you are and who you're meant to be. So don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to be that weird person. Don't be afraid to be overly sensitive. Don't be afraid to show your art. Don't be afraid to show what you have to offer. And don't be afraid to get to know yourself and get to know who you are. Don't judge yourself anymore. You don't need to continue to trick yourself into being something that you're not because of wanting to be accepted, because we emphasize the outside world so much that we don't again realize how much we're invalidating our internal structure. And again, this is what's going to lead us into these downward spirals of disconnection, lack, and jealousy, envy, all of these different things, and especially confusion. Because when you confuse, that means you're not going to be able to make proper decisions based on where you need to be and who you need to be. Some ways that you can try to understand what your specific uniqueness is by starting with the heavy stuff, starting with the shadow work. What don't you like about other people? What makes you jealous of other people? Why do you get ruffled when you see somebody else getting things done, getting to their goals? Is it because you just don't know what your goals are? Is it because you don't like how they're able to, know everything about themselves? Because a lot of the times people still don't know themselves, so that's not it either. So it's like you have to start with the things that you like and dislike. It may take some time. Have fun with it. Ask yourself a bunch of questions. Date yourself. There's so many different ways that you can start to unpack what your uniqueness is and how to again learn to love that version of yourself. You are an original, so stop trying to be a copy. You are perfect as you are. All you need is to rediscover yourself. Another way to uncover your uniqueness is kind of similar to what I just said, but to no longer compare yourself. What does your true reality look like? If you can exist on this world without anybody else, what would your life look like? Because I promise you, if nobody was here, that's really when you're going to be able to see who you really are and what your unique qualities are. Because again, we focus too much on judgment. So when we remove judgment, what do you have that's left of who you are, what you like, what you want to do? So maybe that's really the second part. Another way that you find your uniqueness is by really allowing yourself to think about who you would be if there was nobody else watching. If you didn't have to impress anybody or get approval from anybody and it was only you in the world, who would you be?